Minions have spawned.
Honor compels me.
I'm fourth. What does that mean? Soybean. That's what I would have guessed, truthfully. So a couple of quick items, I guess, about Pantheon. His passive, which is Aegis Protection, says that every fourth ability or auto attack, I will have the shield pop up on me. But I could also force the shield with my W. So you can actually stagger some of your abilities. So shield popped, pop it up again with the W. And so you can stagger your abilities so that you get a shield back to back, which is going to be particularly handy when I'm fighting people, namely the Graves, as we're sort of waiting. The thing with Graves, though, you really can't. I might make a shareable Dropbox file then. To get my SEO up a little bit higher. Normally I would expect a Graves jungle, who is opposite to me, to go ahead and pick Thunderlords, but what we're seeing now in particular is that Warlord's Bloodlust is becoming very, very popular with champions, which means that if I get him just so low, he'll be able to heal up based on the percentage of health that's remaining, and he's mid right now. So hopefully Ari's able to avoid some of this. He's level 4 already. So his clear, good flash, his clear is very, very fast. So again, big minions hit my shield. I put another shield back on. You see the Aegis right here, 3. Block, smite, and we're only taking a couple hits there. And we're gonna go ahead and max our spear shot first. I imagine since he was mid, he'll probably come top. The scuttle probably is gone too. I'm going to put my replays on Google Drive. Oh, that makes sense. That might be a way. I'm actually going to go ahead and sort of head mid as well. Put a pink ward right here. Looks like she is going back. And we're going to try to ward all the places. Hopefully he doesn't have smite, or doesn't even come in this area, so we're just doing a bit of counter jungling. It's much easier for us to get in and get out of this side of his jungle, being the blue side, than it is, let's say, for him to go all the way through on our side. So we're actually just gonna head top, head over to Poppy, and we can flash. I'm gonna assume that the flash is gone. It was not. So, take one turret hit. We're actually just going to wait and back here. See if he decides to stay. Okay, again, just keeping him away. We're going to ward up for our Teemo, just to make sure he is as closely protected as possible. And we're gonna head over here to take our minions too. Vel'Koz will probably push in a tower, as Ari has a tendency to do. And we can actually clear out the wards as well. I think Ari's trying to go for a row. But we'll see. We're gonna hide, line of sight. Ari misses her ability, but with Ignite, they will secure the kill. And Vel'Koz is pushing into the lane. So, okay. Force Flash out of mid, which is good for us. Bad for them. Yeah, let me know if you're able to put it onto Google Drive. So he's level 6, so I think he could kill me. But we're just gonna sort of run along here. Or I should just run the tower. And now he's trapped. So can we make Tim in time? Don't think we can. But we can push in the tower and die from under tower. We're not. I guess we're not going that approach. So let's go ahead and take out Scuttle Crab so that it makes it a little bit harder for Graves to get through his jungle. Blue buffs back up. We're gonna go ahead and pick up some long swords, head that way. Where's Teemo? Teemo is just being Teemo. I know that this is not worded, so we're just gonna hang out and start to back. I think what we'll end up doing here is buying 2 longswords and boots. Nope, we won't have enough money, so we'll buy 1 longsword, boots, and then we're eventually going to get some sort of Titanic Hydra or an Aegis. So this will be used depending on if we need to be more damaging, more tanky. King Zac is doing work over here. But yeah, from the perspective of a jungler, not much is happening in my favor in terms of what I can do or what contributions I can make. So I'm going to go ahead, since Ari is 2-0, you would think you could distribute the wealth. Oh, you share the drive with me, awesome. But I'm just going to go ahead and give it to her, honestly, because I think she has the potential to do some good. As long as I don't magically take it. Okay, no, we're good. And now I can actually start heading to bot lane. Come on in. And just go ahead and kill my pal here. I was about to tank that. I don't know where mid lane is, and that costs a lot of mana for me. We're saving our mana for a stun. Is she going to... Yep, so we get the stun there. We're gonna put a ward, auto attack, and I'll tank this. Nope. I would have had to tank a lot more. Blue buff given away. Nope. Very good. So let's just go ahead and back here. We've done everything within our power. We don't see Graves coming, and we have 3 places that are warded. He could be coming through jungle, but he's actually at my red. Offensive smite. I actually have Tracker's Knife, so I don't have an offensive smite, unfortunately. But we're going to go ahead and build some items in preparation. My pink ward is still there. I don't know if they were successfully able to push Graves off of that, but we're just gonna go around. I think giving blue to Ari has paid off. He has my red, so we're just gonna try to clear it out as much as possible. If I were to get an offensive smite, I would have gotten blue smite just to slow them down. And he did clear out my red entirely. So we're just gonna come over here. And in 30 seconds I can come kill Vel'Koz mid. How do I know where to ward? That's actually a really important question. Think about all the entrances and exits that there are across the map, right? So there's a finite number of places that you can actually physically move through on any given champion. So for instance, in order to get from this part of the map here, you have this hole and this hole. So we're just going to go ahead, put a ward here. So we know that they are then limited into coming this way. And then we're going to go ahead and put another ward here, so that we know again where it is that they might be coming through. For our particular purposes, we have this entire top side protected, with the exception of one vantage point, and that is strictly through the lane. And it looks like there is a teleport coming in bottom, so we're going to ult in. We actually probably should have canceled that. And there's Graves. So for our purposes, Ari is just hopefully scaring them away. Hook incoming. One more, and flash. Ooh, just barely. So for our purposes, we just wanted to give top lane as much vision as possible. With bot lane, think about the vantage points that we have. We have 1 spot, 2 spots, and 3 spots. So for every lane, roughly, there are about 2 to 3 spots to put down wards. Now, the way that you put down wards is very much so contingent on, I actually should have upgraded my jungle item. So we're just going to go ahead and clear. It is really contingent on where it is that we can put this. If we're playing from behind, we'll want to put those wards a little bit more defensively. So let's say we're losing the game, they have a bunch of our towers, we'll probably want to put our wards here, a little bit closer to our base, so that we don't have to, we have vision closer to us, as opposed to putting it a little bit further out, because the further out we put it, the closer vision we have to the enemy jungle, the more vision that we have of the enemy jungle. It essentially enables us to move a little bit forward, make some picks, make a lot of those decisions happen. But yeah, for the most part, it's just trying to find and provide as much knowledge as possible. For us, we have not only Tracker's Knife, but we still have our Warding Totem, which will switch at level 9, probably to Sweepers. But we just want to figure out where they are. So we're going to put a ward here, and we're going to put a ward here. Now, the reason we put wards there is because we had a hunch that red buff was there. Because red buff is there, we're going to go ahead and take it, and then in about 5 seconds, we're going to ward. We're going to actually use our ultimate to hop to the bot lane. So we have our ultimate. We're going to go ahead and ult behind the Varus. And we'll kill him. So, ulting right on top of the tower where the enemy was actually wouldn't have helped us. So we wanted to ult behind. That way the only places that he could go are either toward our teammates, and we're going to leave this CS for our teammates. The only place for him to go is either toward our teammates or into us. And thankfully he went into us. I don't have flash, so it might take me a little bit of time. I don't have my ultimate either. So hopefully we go for the Vel'Koz here. And we take that kill. And we try to dodge as much as possible. Realistically speaking, though, I think that was actually a misplay in a way from us. In that we could have saved our... And we're just going to be aware of where Thresh is. If Graves had a little bit more HP, we actually could have stopped him. Thankfully, Ari had just enough damage to kill him. But let's say she didn't have enough damage, we actually could have stunned the Graves and protected her. So it worked out in our favor. We could have played it better, but overall, I think it was a good choice to go ahead and go for the Vel'Koz, just to sort of zone him away, make it so that he can't continue to attack moving forward. That was a great question, though. Hopefully that wasn't too much information. And most of my answers are going to be, well, it depends. So hopefully that was one that was more succinct. Okay, so we're going to go back. We're going to upgrade our jungle item, which we should have done before. And we're going to build pieces of Iceborne Gauntlet. And the reasons why we're building Iceborne Gauntlet, number one, and we're going to upgrade to Oracles right here. Number one, what we want to do is build ourselves CDR, which we're going to get from Glacial Shroud. The more cooldown reduction we have, the more often we can use our ultimate. Now we can use it every minute and a half. And actually it looks like there's a lot happening mid. So I might, after getting red buff, go mid. Top, we can't reach them in time, so unfortunately he dies. But with the cooldown reduction, not only do we get ult more often, but once we upgrade it fully, we can slow them when we use an ability with the sheet proc. Okay, so we're clearing this. He'll die to red buff, and we'll just sort of come on over. And Ari seems to be backing. They must have vision there. And they reveal that they have vision there. On my map, from my knowledge, blue buff was just taken. We're going to ward here, and we're going to ward here. Not the perfect place to put a ward, but good enough so that we have vision. They must have a pink ward right there, because they're able to spot it. But good enough so that we can just sort of keep tabs on where Graves is in relation to the rest of us. And I don't want to be too greedy here. Ari is here, which means that we could technically, once the minions come, going to dive when minions come. So, minions are incoming. So we're sort of spooking them. We're tanking the tower as much as possible. But you place wards where you give vision of enemies' movements. Yeah, so the idea is that the more knowledge, the more information we have, the easier it is for us to make decisions based on that. We see that Thresh is putting his pink ward, or his... Oh, we're gonna die here. Teemo's pushing top, so at this point we're at a 5 versus 4. And it does not work at all in our favor. And actually we're able to avoid it. We're getting top turret for mid turret, which I don't think is a very good trade. But to address your comments, you place wards where they give you vision of your enemy's movement throughout entrances in order to provide help when needed. Correct. So look at all the places that we have wards right now. And they're not the best wards, and we even had our blue ward cleared out here. If you just look at the minimap, what you'll see first and foremost is that all of our vision, because of Teemo mushrooms, are mostly on top side. The next objective that we can contest is on bot side. So our knowledge of the enemy base, other than they were just right here, is that they've now backed, so we see that. But we don't know what's happening elsewhere. So we don't know where they are in relation to red. We don't know where they are in relation to the Krugs or the Wolves or anything like that. So what we're going to do is we're just going to wait and try to get as much vision as possible. We have 2 wards. We have an Oracle's Lens, so we can sort of clear this out. And we're going to go ahead and get Dragon. We saw Graves very briefly up there. So our Smite is in 640. We'll ward over just to be safe. So, there we go. 605. Could have gotten away with a more closely aligned one. But we're just going to go ahead and take this vision. In a perfect world, we would have taken this vision early. But I want to make sure that Draven is okay alone. And we're going to go ahead and clear out some vision here to make sure that we have provided him with as much access to vision. So not only are we trying to provide vision, we are trying to deny it as well. Maybe Varus will come this way, but I think he'll loop around. So we're spooking him. Poppy's coming. Graves is here. So we want to make sure that we're all moving in sync toward each other. Hopefully Ari is able to come join us as well. So we just want to make sure that we're avoiding Vel'Koz AoEs, like right there. Actually, we're going to go ahead and cancel that. I was hoping that we would spook them, but not the case. Draven unfortunately dying, and now Ari dying too. So the game seemed to be in our favor to an extent, and now we might be throwing away the lead more than we probably should. So we're going to make ourselves a little bit more tanky. I'm going to go ahead clear out the jungle. It looks like they're going for Teemo. I don't think I can give Teemo help, especially because he's going attack speed Teemo. If he was maybe full AP, it would be different. Driven too deep, I can't help. That burst, yeah, that's probably true. The only other objectives that we have to contest, I mean, we can theoretically contest a lot of objectives, but the only ones that we can realistically contest at this point are Baron and Towers. So we have to figure out what to do as a result of that. And we're almost at full life from this, but we're out of ward, so we're going to want to go back. We know our team isn't pressed that forward yet, so we're just going to come here and try to help as much as possible. Our red's up. Poppy is bot. We can actually pick out a fight now, because Poppy is really the one who is preventing us from making a lot of decisions. Mid lane tower is still there, so if we get that, that unlocks more vision for us. So we're just going to ping that we are on our way. I think we'll get an Aegis next. And again, just trying to help out our Ahri as much as possible. Just sort of be this front line for her. Send the Poppy. Vel'Koz is killing us from the back line, so we just want to make sure that we are providing as much help as possible. And oddly enough, we end up with a triple kill. Graves is top lane, which means we can get the second tower here. And as you probably saw within that fight, maybe if we broke it down a little bit slower and piece by piece, you could see that a lot of what I was doing was just peeling for my teammates. For our purposes, how or when to start fights, more often than not, we probably are starting fights when we probably shouldn't start fights. And that ultimately boils down to, are your teammates there, and are they in a position to fight? Yeah, oh baby, a triple kill, right? So we have this. Just for tank purposes, I think we'll get a Sunfire Cape. And then we'll eventually upgrade this to an Aegis. So we're going to be really tanky. We're going to be the only front line that we have. When I'm assessing our team right now, and we're looking at the score lines and just trying to get a big picture of what's been happening, Teemo's been split pushing, Draven has been dying when he shouldn't be dying, and other than that, Ahri's been doing pretty good for us. So we're just going to try to follow Ahri's lead, not only just because she has the most gold on her team, but also because it seems as though she's picking wise decisions. Now, that's not to say that Draven isn't a very smart player, but instead, if he is a smart player, we haven't seen it yet, and so that just is giving us the inclination that maybe we should favor our other teammates. Now right here, if we had, we just need a back. If we had another teammate who was here, we could make that play happen, but we don't. And Ahri just used her ultimate. We don't have vision of them. I don't think they're going to keep pushing bot. They probably went back. We have to make this invisible line from Teemo to us. So Teemo can only extend as far as we allow him to. But it seems as though we're just going to go ahead and ward and head back after this. But it seems as though he is more willing to go back and hide. Okay, so that is cleared out. Teemo is further than he should be. We're actually going to go back and get Merc Treads, I think. The problem with not knowing when to start a fight is particularly evident on Pantheon, because my ultimate is the everybody, it's time to party ultimate, right? I'm jumping in there, I'm making a decision to go in, and if our teammates don't follow, well, we're kind of screwed, right? The only thing about the information that we have on the map right now, we only have vision here, here, and here. So we have the bot side pretty well figured out, and we have Scuttle Crab, so we can see Poppy, but we don't know where anyone else is. And as a result of that, we have to assume that they're either in the hidden areas here, they just warded, or they are somewhere at the base. So 760 for our smites. And And again, we're just sort of tanking for our team, and we die. Hopefully they're able to just get out of there, which it doesn't seem like. The tankiness of these people is real. Still, Teemo is sort of AFK farming top. We lose our blue buff. We get Dragon, thankfully, so that's Dragon number 2 to their Dragon 1. And we just figured out they are grouping together. It's 5 versus 4 multiple times, and we haven't really gotten anything else from it. But that's not to say that we won't moving forward. Don't fight in close area. Yeah, they have a lot of AoE bursts with Vel'Koz, Varus, Graves. So we're just running this way. Again, we're trying to figure out where it is that they can run to, so we're going to put it behind them. And we're going to go back to our teammates and protect them. So we're coming, baby Teemo. We don't know if they're blues there. I'm going to assume it's not. Draven just doesn't have enough damage. We really shouldn't be fighting. And I've made the decision I'm going to get Aegis as my item here, because we need a little bit more magic resist in those fights. I need a little bit more health and sustain. And I think they could... They can't... As long as we fight them together, fight as 3 or 4, we should be able to deny, especially with Hurricane Teemo. And we should be able to get... Oh, Ahri is not paying attention. Good dodge by Teemo. Oh, there she is. Does she have Morello? No, she does not. And we're going to go ahead and see if we can head this way. And we're just going to clear this out, try to get tower from it. So we're running. If Teemo grouped with us, I think we'd be in a much better spot. But he did not. Yes. Oh, Teemo's grouping. Awesome. I'm tanking for whatever reason. We need to kill this tower and then probably Veil. But I'm just going to be this front line. If we get aced here, we lose Baron for sure. So we just want to back. We actually made a really smart team play there. We just need to take whatever it is that we won and head away from it as much as possible. This Scuttle Crab doesn't do much for us. We're going to go ahead and smite it. If Teemo didn't group with us, would we rotate top or stay mid? That is the ultimate question. So again, this really boils down to what are our teammates' tendencies. I thought Teemo was going to stay top, because that's what Teemo has showed me thus far. But he actually rotated mid, so that was the right play in my opinion, is for him to come join us. Now, if he would have stayed top, I think it still benefits us to have gone straight for mid tower, but we wouldn't have been able to get the inhibitor because we wouldn't have enough damage. So we would have gotten the tower, so that's nice, which would mean that later we could go either top or bottom and then rotate mid. But yeah, for our purposes, he joined us, so thankfully we didn't have to run through that scenario. But she needs to back, she's dead. So we just need to make sure that everything is worded to the best of our ability, dodging. And we're actually going to go top. And hope that he's staying there. Again, we're trying to eliminate how many options for places to go he has, right? And again, we're just slowing him down with our Iceborne, because that's the reason we have it, and hoping that Ahri does not die. Is really what all of this boils down to. It looks like she was able to escape and almost kill people. So we're just going to let Teemo do whatever he wants at this point. He helped us mid, he helped us get an inhibitor, at least. Sort of the least we could do is come and ward with the 2 wards that we have, come ward top lane. That way we get ourselves vision for Baron. Even if we don't want to start Baron, we at least want to know if they're going to start Baron. And our blue buff is up now. So let's hope that Karma will use her vision a little bit closer, so if they decide to sweep here, they'll only get a finite amount. So we'll ping here and here. And we're going to go ahead, give in that vision, and we're going to go and sweep this area too. Hopefully there isn't a secret ward hidden here. And Ari is backing, which makes me a bit apprehensive. We don't have vision right here. Go ahead, and now we just back. Everyone just back. We got what we came for. They could get dragon in response to this, which I would be perfectly fine with. That ties us at 2 dragons apiece. But we went ahead, got Baron, we're just headed out. And we're going to go ahead and upgrade this. I forgot that we got flat cooldown. So actually, we're overkill with the cooldown reduction, because we have 20% from here, which is way too much. Shouldn't be 20% in any world. Actually, just gonna sort of zone him out once more. Secure, another objective. And we don't have a lot of damage. So we're just... And there we went too far in the hopes of warding. Sorry. Sorry, tried to deep ward. My bad. So yeah, that was actually our fault. We shouldn't have been there at least that deep in the first place. Poppy is a great front line, and Grace is really tanky. So for our purposes, we actually screwed it up. Not only is he really tanky, but he has a crap ton of damage. Or he's going to have to probably ult away here. Just to be safe. Oh no, she's fine. Yeah, we are the pizza after that. We're actually going to go ahead and soon sell our refillable potion in favor of getting a Sterix Gauge. That way, when we are in that situation, we'll at least live for a little bit longer. I think there could be a case made for Hex Drinker as well. But I think Sterix Gauge probably gives us more overall tankiness. And Teemo's bot versus 2. It looks like... Again, I don't think our Draven has damage, so we just want to make sure. Sort of sandwiching them in some way. Varus not this? Go ahead, get that stun on Vel'Koz, and keep running. He's pulling me toward him, that's fine. Again, we're just walking around, stun Vel'Koz. And we don't want to chase too long. But they seem to be doing fine. Pushing bot. And we're chasing. We're definitely chasing for way too long, but hopefully they're able to get bot. In a perfect world, they'd go ahead and get mid lane. At least a mid lane inhibitor. But it doesn't seem that that is their objective. After they get this, they should just back. Okay, we just want to make sure that Draven isn't overstaying his welcome. We'll take red, we'll go back, get the pieces to an item like a Sterix Gauge. Actually, Draven was able to get it too, which is awesome. But again, we're a frontline. We are, as much as we don't want to be, we like to play carry type champions. We are actually doing a really good job of just sitting there and soaking up a crap ton of damage. We don't have enough for Sterix Gauge, but that's okay. We'll buy the components for it. Even though Sterix, the Jarum's fist is something that stacks up, we're just going to go ahead and get the health, put our gold toward hopefully a good place, good purpose. Okay, Draven wants this. Again, I don't trust him, but... Oh, well, I got it still. Sunfire Cape. Skelly says, I see you making a lot of good flashes over walls, but how do you know when to flash and when not to? Assuming that I have the knowledge, right? Assuming I know when they have their flashes and when they don't have flashes, it makes it a lot easier to know. If they have a flash and I have a flash, then we probably shouldn't flash. And we're just going to go ahead and try to protect our karma as much as possible. But in this circumstance, we're going to try to head back to our teammates if we can. Okay, Ari seems to be coming back. We're going to go for Graves, stun him, and protect. This should be game over. And we're going to avoid that. And we're coming to mid. There we go. And that'll do it. Okay. So, to Skelly's question, and Asantimo, what a beast. To Skelly's question, I see you making a lot of good flashes over walls, but how do you know when to flash and when not to? Ultimately, it depends, like most of my answers. Normally when you're talking about flashing, the first thing that you want to think of is, can I do something significant with this flash? And so significance, everything from, can I secure a kill? Can I make sure that we maybe make them use their flash so that we can come, especially as jungler, can we come gank them a little bit later? But also it boils down to, is this something, do we have enough vision? Do we have enough knowledge about them in particular to know that we should or should not go forward? So when you saw me die, I wish I could rewind to it, but when you saw me die before when I was trying to get vision, what happened was that I tried to go a little bit forward to use a ward so that we could get greater vision. So I had no vision, or I had pretty much a lack of vision, and I tried to enhance that vision in some way. By the time that I got to the place that I was going to put down my ward for vision and that brush, I was screwed over because I didn't know what was behind sort of door number one. It was fog of war, darkness, no idea. In that circumstance, I had flash, and I could have used flash, but it wouldn't have saved me. And actually, sort of me dying there and saving my flash that I could use at a later point is something that I was sort of hoping to get through.